Hey you. Yeah, you. You didn't stumble here by chance. So let's talk. My name is Tyanne, but a lot of people call me Taj. And I'm most known for my loud New York personality. Brooklyn, to be specific. And my unfiltered opinions. And most recently, for being your favorite homegirl. Yeah, because I'm a realtor too. Don't forget that. And the Melanated Mindset is a safe space for unpopular opinions and heated debates amongst the diverse melting pot of those of us that identify as a melanated millennial. Now, I can't speak for y'all, but after seeing what being an adult is really about, nah, I got some things to say. And I know y'all do too. So let's talk about it. Because what's really going on? Ooh, and I'm gonna take a sip. What is up, y'all? Welcome if you're new. Welcome back if you're not to the Melanated Mindset. If you are an audio listener, meaning that you are chopping it up with me on Apple Podcasts or on Spotify, I feel like I say it every episode. I've been saying it every week, but you might really want to pull up to the YouTube channel for the video version because today's episode is extra special because we have our first guest of the season. And if you're watching the video version, you can already see that. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
You know it is, Mr. Watson, the one and only. I'm here yet again. Season 4, Melanated Mindset. Happy New Year, everybody.
Oh, yes. This is the first episode. Well, if you guys don't know who that is and you're an audio listener, that is my husband. If you are new on YouTube and watching the video version, that means you haven't watched none of our vlogs. We got quite a bit of family vlogs. We did Vlogmas. So to catch a little bit more of our vibes, go ahead and binge all of those episodes. So if you want to know our origin story, maybe you haven't been rocking with us since season 1, you can refer back to season 1, episode 5, where we tell our love story, how we met, all of that good stuff. So we're going to spare y'all on this episode because we got some things that we're going to get into. And before we get into some things, I just wanted to publicly give you your flowers and thank you, because if you're watching the video version of this entire set that we are filming in, I did not do by myself. I could not have done by myself. So I wanted to publicly say thank you for helping me bring my vision to life, because I could not have done it without you.
Of course.
So thank you, and I love you.
I love you too, baby.
Yeah, we did a kick-ass job, okay? It's giving production team. This is the team.
All right, let me know what y'all think, man. Like,
we put.
I like the banner or what? I think the banner's pretty fire.
The banner is really fire. Yeah. Like, we built the shelf together from scratch. I have a whole vlog on how we low-key got this together. So if you're watching the video version, go ahead and click the card that just popped up. Again, if you're watching the audio version, go ahead and pull up on YouTube, because we put some time and some sweat and some tears into building this set. And this is our dining room. And we completely transformed it in like 2 or 3 months.
Hey, I'm proud of it though.
For real, we did that.
I'm proud of it.
And y'all, I don't got no tea. I don't got no coffee since I got Babe on here. And as y'all read by the title, we finna get intimate. So we got some wine. We grown-ups today. So I'm gonna take a sip to that. So y'all read by the title. Let's get intimate. So first, I want to ask you, what's your definition of intimacy?
My definition of intimacy. It's a good question. My definition of intimacy would be, just putting your chemistry to work. Just when you look at your significant other and you think about everything that makes you attracted to them, and getting the vibe right, the setting, getting little things that your significant other like.
Yeah. I'm just really happy to hear that your definition is more than just something physical, because the funny fact is going to talk about how a lot of people think that intimacy is just physical. So I would definitely agree. I think my personal definition of intimacy is honestly connecting with your partner, significant other, spouse, or whoever in any other way that's not physical. I mean, it could be physical. Any other way that's not sex.
Yeah, it definitely could be physical because, you know, that's, I think the physical act of is being intimate.
Touché.
But I think it is more than just the physical.
Yeah, for me, I think it's everything besides the physical, because I feel like just because you're intimate with someone, I don't think that counts as intimacy, like in that relationship. So that's why I think for me, it's everything but the physical act of being intimate. Okay.
I agree.
The textbook definition, because y'all know I've been starting every episode off with like an actual definition. We're going to run this back later on. But the textbook definition of intimacy is a close familiarity or friendship or a cozy atmosphere. So it's really, it's really just a feeling. It's like, it's not even a thing. There's nothing that you do that's intimate. It's a feeling that you get from something that someone does. At least that's how I interpret that definition.
So it sounds like one of those things where, you know, some people be like, I think it's more so men,
Touché.
right? Be like, you know, for instance, some people feel that the difference between a woman cheating and a man cheating is the feelings being involved. Like for a woman to cheat, it means she's actually like intimate and has feelings for that person. But if a man cheats, is like it just was sex.
I could see that. Like
That's kind of what I get from that definition.
Do you agree with that though? You made that bet. You got lying in now. See?
I guess I did. I feel like you can't really.
I call bullshit already. Y'all, he up here finna cap already. How many minutes we in? Not even 10 minutes in, and it's giving bullshit.
How's that giving?
It's different because y'all can see us now. Last time he was on the episode, y'all couldn't see us, so you can see us now. What y'all think? It sound like he finna give us a fluff answer.
All right, I do agree then.
Really?
I agree.
What? I'm curious, like, because now I want to know, like, how does your brain process that? How could you think that?
Because I feel like, all right, like, there's definitely, let's take social media for instance, right? There's definitely beautiful women on social media, but
there's beautiful men on social media too.
But if you were to meet them in person, you'd be like, I couldn't see myself like being with that person. But, you know, as far as body and everything you would want physically, like they probably have it. They might have it.
And you don't think women are capable of that too?
I mean,
I think men, honestly, I feel like that whole stigma stems from, honestly, men being too, I'm not going to say too confident, so too egotistical and underestimating the confidence that women have, because what makes you think a woman can't do exactly that?
I mean, a woman can. But there's definitely women that most likely do. I feel like I think it's harder though.
Why?
Because
some girls is really like, some women is once upon a time, you know.
Don't do that.
I'm just saying, women have the ability to detach feelings a lot easier than men give us credit for. In my opinion, it's harder for women because it just takes, in my opinion, it takes getting hurt to a certain degree to be like, oh yeah, I'm over it. I'm in these streets. I'm finna cut up. Like, it takes somebody breaking your heart for you to wake the dog up in you for.
So someone must have broke your heart.
That's not what we're here to talk about. Anyway, Let me ask y'all watching and y'all listening, what is your definition of intimacy? Was it either of ours? Was it the textbook definition? If you're watching the video version, let me know in the comments down video. And y'all know, never gonna miss the opportunity for a shameless plug. So if you are not following me on all of my social medias, you need to be, so you can follow me in real time and kind of see what be going on in our lives in between these episodes, because we are filming this quite ahead of when you guys are watching or listening to this. So catch up with me in real time on Instagram at Tyanne.Watson, and my Twitter, my TikTok, and my YouTube, all at Tyanne Watson with no dot in between. And we got Mr. Incognito over here now, so he don't really have nothing to plug.
I'm out the Matrix.
He is out the Matrix slightly. So, if you're not new here, then you know the vibes. You know where we're going next. If you're new here, I like to really jump into every episode with a complaint of the week and a highlight of the week. This week, my complaint of the week is that it took us so long to get this episode filled. Not for nothing, y'all. This was supposed to be episode 1.
It was not that long.
This is now episode 5, and it was supposed to be episode 1.
Oh. That's not primarily just my fault.
It's not. It's just the end. We could have had this disclaimer. This could have been 4. It's not just his fault. Life has been lifing. We're adults. We're parents. Y'all know we don't really be having no physical help here. But listen, okay, it was supposed to be episode 1.
Mind you, she pulled out the great penny.
Wow. Yeah, we sipping on Taylor Port, y'all. If you know, you know. But my highlights of the week is honestly sitting in the middle of this manifestation with you, because you have been here since this was just a thought in my head over a year ago. I've been talking about adding video to the podcast, honestly, since last season. But we had just moved into the house and there was just too much going on. And even the way I was telling them, I think maybe last episode or maybe episode 3, that this isn't even how this was supposed to go. Like, we were supposed to be traveling. This was supposed to be
a tour. The Malik mindset tour.
Honestly,
low key.
It really was, and it still will be. But just the way that I was able to pivot, and you were able to help me pivot, like, that's definitely my highlight of the week, because there were times where I felt like we were so far away from this, having something to put out, that now we here. We built it, we in it, and we recording our first episode together. So it's definitely my highlight of the week. What about you?
My complaint of the week is my beef with South Carolina waste disposal / the garbage man. Super inconsistent. They're supposed to come Tuesday morning. They didn't pick up the trash till like Tuesday late afternoon. What is up with that?
Can y'all tell how old we're getting and how mature we're getting? That's some real old head homeowner shit to be complaining about.
The older you get, it's like you notice the little inconveniences.
The older I get, the more I'm willing to pay for extra convenience in life.
That too.
Like, having the nice stuff is cool and shit to brag and flex, but we're past that stages of our life. Having the convenient stuff is where it's at. That's where the peace resides.
But then again, the older you get, you realize, why are you paying for these certain conveniences that should just be like...
That's a whole...
Like, it's still kind of crazy to me that you pay for water, bro. Why are we paying for water?
Somebody spilled something.
Why are we paying for water? Then there's like tiers of water. Like, what is that? Alkaline, smart water, spring water, mountain water. Like, bruv. Bruv. What is that?
Y'all know how on episode 1, I told y'all I was like, my spiritual journey had just threw me for a loop and I was just woke as fuck for no reason. Let me present to you Mr. Woke as Fuck, who is coming up right behind me. And I think his pod, then it got a crack in it, y'all. He's stepping out the matrix. He is stepping out the matrix because, no, for real, what's really going on? What about a highlight? Did you give a highlight?
No. So, damn, you kind of forget my highlight. Oh, my highlight of the week is, hey, I just started school. You know, I put my little first discussion in today. You know, I got my ducks in a row right now. And you know, yep. And I mean, it officially starts on Tuesday, but you know, I did a little early. Yeah, you got in there earlier, so I just got in there early. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Yep.
Y'all, as hard as y'all have seen me grinding and pushing out content, like we have both been equally grinding mad hard behind the scenes. I'm talking the way y'all heard me say, like, I ain't been going nowhere, having no extracurricular fun popping out. Like neither has he. Like we have been really, I think the last 6 months of 2022, we really zoned in on where we want to be, where we're at, the things we want to change, and we've just been kind of tunnel vision on that. And I would say, as much as I blocked everything and everyone out and just been focusing on my goals and the businesses and expanding and all of that, I feel like you've been doing the same with your own personal goals, and I'm very proud of you. We have been excelling. Excuse me, y'all. This is the Taylor Port. We have been excelling in our separate lanes, but together. And it's a really hard space to navigate. If you're new here, we've been married. We just celebrated our 9th wedding anniversary. We have been officially married for 9 years. So the type of shifts that we are trying to make in our life are huge ones all at the same time. And life is expected to be chaotic when you are making all of these different like mind shifts and putting these things into actions to change your life. So like our life has been chaotic to the point where like we just been focusing on our goals, but I know these are you always have to sacrifice to get where you want to go. I feel like you always got to put in at least 1 to 2 years of just hard, no fun, just grinding. Like 2 years could really set you up for a lifetime. And I feel like the last 6 months of 2022 and all of 2023 is when we really gonna put in that work, because by 2024, y'all, listen, if you ain't part of the tribe now, you might want to be, because things is finna, if we keep the gas the way we going, we gonna be where we want to be, if not further. Honestly, we got this. We've been kicking ass. So y'all know the vibes. We moving into the Fendi facts of the day, because y'all know that's a Fendi. Because y'all know I can't just come up here and be chatting. We gotta talk to y'all and give y'all a little bit of facts.
What's the facts then, baby?
All right, so today's Fendi fact of the day is an excerpt from MBG, and it's an article written by, I'm about to butcher her name, but it's Akamia Deadweiler. I don't know, but she got a master's degree, y'all. So, right, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm butchering that, so don't mind me. And if you're watching the video version or if you're listening, like I say every week, if you are curious to ever read these articles in its entirety, I will always have them in the description box of the YouTube video, because I, on the Fendi Fact, just read y'all bits and pieces. But pretty much it's an excerpt from mindbodyandgreen.com. And it's an article titled The 5 Types of Intimacy That Exist and How to Build Them in a Relationship. See? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure before you read it, it gotta be like physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. Damn, what's one more I could say? What is it? Physical, spiritual, mental, emotional. I don't know. I only got one more. I got 4.
All right, so the article reads, you was pretty close though. The article reads, what is intimacy in a relationship? Intimacy is the feeling of closeness and interconnectedness with another person, and it's the bedrock of a strong, long-lasting relationship. Intimacy can exist in all types of relationships, from friendships to family relationships to romantic ones. The best way to describe intimacy is to think of it as a connection. If you want to be intimate in some way, you want to connect. While some people associate intimacy in a relationship with sex, that's truly just one type of intimacy, the physical kind. Sex can be an important part of a committed relationship, but they also require sustainable rapport beyond just chemistry in the bedroom. So the 5 types of intimacy in a relationship are: number 1, physical intimacy, aka sex, cuddling, hugs, anything where you gotta touch, pretty much. 2, emotional intimacy. It involves candid, authentic sharing of thoughts and feelings. 3, intellectual intimacy. So it is defined as comfort with communicating beliefs and viewpoints without worrying about potential conflicts, creates intellectual intimacy. 4 is experiential intimacy. Which I thought this one was really good and I didn't think of it. It's described as shared experience that lead to inside jokes and private memories that can intensify a connection. So when you just go through something with somebody,
When I think of that, I think of the hardship of like dating outside the race.
touche, because that's a bond that would bring you closer. Or being in a same-sex relationship, those type of things where you have those hardships to go through and those hurdles to overcome together, I can definitely see how that could build intimacy. And the 5th one is spiritual intimacy. So you were right. And it says, although a lot of people may automatically assume that is religious based, it says religious practice isn't necessary all the time for spiritual intimacy, though it can serve the purpose. This closeness forms when you share, I don't know that word, poignant? Poignant. I don't know, corrects me in the comments. Moments with your partner. Though praying and worshiping as a couple could qualify as such a moment, there are many other examples of spiritual intimacy. And for some examples, they have partners watch the sun rise or set together. Couples take a walk through the park while holding hands. Spouses connect as they stand in quiet awe overlooking the Grand Canyon. Partners discuss their ethics, sense of purpose, and personal definitions of spirituality. So, those are listed as the 5 types of intimacy.
Interesting. I was only off one.
You weren't. And honestly, which one? The experiential? I think that's the only one you didn't really touch on.
Never would have thought of that.
But
it makes sense. Yeah,
It does.
it makes sense. Especially that time we was at McDonald's.
Oh my God, that is such a throwback. Oh my goodness. And we spent hours in that McDonald's on 34th Street. Wow. Dang, y'all, that was 10 years ago. What were we even doing? And the crazy part is, I feel like we had our phones, but we weren't on our phone.
We definitely were not.
We were there.
We would literally just like people watching.
Yes, we were. I feel like I hate to be like we were talking about the people that were in McDonald's, but if you're from
everybody does though.
I was about to say, if you're from New York City, first of all, let me tell you how we thought we had an 11 p.m. movie on 34th.
I ain't gonna front. I take the blame for that.
Y'all, he dragged me out of my bed in Brooklyn. Like, no, we need to get up.
I could have sworn it was. Was it the wrong movie?
Yes, you was looking at 42nd Street.
And we was at 34th.
We was at 34th Street, and the last movie started at like 9 something. 34th Street movie theater was not a big deal at the time. I don't know if it is now. But we got on the train all the way to the city thinking we got like 11 p.m. movie. It's mad late. Granted, we from the city that never sleeps, but y'all, it ain't nobody out in the streets for real. Just for us to get there in the movie theater be closed. And they like, yeah, the last movie was like 2 hours ago. So we literally just walked to McDonald's and sat in there till wee hours in the morning. We were in there for hours. I think we made a Vine that day, I think.
Did we?
I think so.
Oh yeah, I think we did.
Oh my goodness. Damn, baby, that was 10 years ago. Oh, I gotta take a sip to that.
Oh wow, we just in there just people watching, just joking around, just being weak.
That was a time, boy. And look where we are now.
And it was like one of those like stomach hurting from laughing.
Like we was in there weak for hours. I'm surprised they never even kicked us out.
It's McDonald's.
Yeah, I don't even think we bought nothing.
No, we did. We bought something, but it was.
We were just, I remember we went from table to, we moved tables. Like, we was in there for a minute. That was crazy. Oh my God. You just unlocked a memory. I forgot all about that. But before we jump into the flow of things, I just want to let you guys know if you want to join the conversation in quote unquote realer time and give your own personal thoughts or opinions, make sure you pull up on me on YouTube at my YouTube channel. That is just my name, Tyanne Watson. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up because we got our first guest of the season. So it's a thumbs up for that off rip. Make sure you leave a comment down below if you have been rocking with us since season 1, episode 5, where we told our love story. What's your favorite part? Like, what's your favorite part? Show us how true of a tribe member you are in the comments. And most importantly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to officially join the tribe because we would love to have you. Okay. Now, let's get into some things. All right, y'all. So we officially into our flow. I feel like before we flow, I feel like it's only right that we give them a mental health update because the last time we were on a podcast together, we were talking about, where we were in our spiritual journeys and we were talking about the accident. So I feel like it'd be wrong of us to just jump back in with a whole new topic. So I want to tell the gang how you doing, how you holding up since then. I feel like that was a really big episode for both of us, honestly.
Yeah.
Damn, you gotta take a sip for that. Well, shit, let me take one too.
I'm doing pretty good. I mean, as you know, I'm in therapy.
Insert applause for. And no, he's not in therapy because of me. That was a choice he made on his own.
Yeah.
Because I know the stigma about black men in therapy.
What's the stigma?
A lot of people be saying that black men only be going to therapy because, like, a woman in your life told you need to go to therapy or something's wrong with you, so you need to go to therapy.
No, I don't think. I think you go to therapy. You go to therapy before something develops and ends up being wrong, But especially me personally, I think it takes a lot to be just to go to therapy.
Yo, I need help.
Yeah, definitely. Especially being in the military. It's a stigma of if you go to seek for mental help, it's like, oh, you're crazy or you're just you're pretty much suicidal at that point. Like, if you're looking for mental help, you're just suicidal. Is a stigma. And if you go there, people that want to make it their lifelong career, do 20 years or plus.
You can't be in therapy the whole time.
Yeah, which is can I curse?
Yeah.
Which is bullshit.
Not curse.
Nah, cause I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe you wanna.
Yeah. We could curse. Or
okay.
Regular YouTube videos on pod. We grown here, y'all.
Yeah, and it's bullshit. You should be able to go to therapy all 20 years and even after you retire if you need to.
You definitely need
if you need to.
Gave them 20, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a whole different story. But
maybe we'll do an episode on how you feel, because at this point you've been in the military for 10 years. So I think a lot of some of the listeners that I have, I know for a fact, are Army wives or military wives, should I say, that became military wives after I did. So they've been in this a little bit less than us. So I think we might actually do a military kind of episode because you don't see a lot of young black couples talking about their experiences in the military. And if you do, unfortunately, it's never good. And unfortunately, it usually involves a headline of some sort. So.
Exactly, because I just had a friend of mine who his friend just committed suicide not too long ago. He had 4 kids, and my friend said he just spoke to him not too long ago, and you would never know that he was about to even take his own life or even thinking about it. And I told him that that's always how it is. It's you never know when someone's just gonna go left and just snap and just go that route.
Agreed. And I feel like if you're listening to this and you feel like you are just being engulfed in life and it's too much to handle and life will just be easier with you not in it, feel free to, there are numbers that you can call. I'm going to leave one on the screen. There are people you can talk to. Hell, you could talk to me. I don't even got to know you personally. But I'm always going to be here as a listening ear because y'all are always a listening ear for me and for us. So we'll definitely probably get kind of a military mental health episode going. I think that would be.
Yeah, we should do that. Yeah.
But that is where he's at. I told y'all episode 1. I feel like mentally I'm doing great. And let it be known, your girl, like I told you, I am enrolled in therapy. My first therapy session is actually coming up.
Friday.
It's Friday.
Friday.
My first, whoa, okay. My first therapy session is actually on Friday. So Malik has actually been in therapy longer than I have, and he went before I did. And I'm really anxious. I'm excited, but after getting all the insurance stuff squared away, it's official. My first session is Friday. My insurance, aka the military insurance, only gives me 20 sessions, so we'll see. Hopefully, I don't need more than that. But I think it'll be interesting. I will bring back any gems that I feel like are worth sharing with you guys, but it'll just be interesting to finally embark on therapy. I feel like people talk about how much it changes their lives and how good it is, but to finally get to experience it myself, I think will be different. I think it'll make me a better mom, a better wife, a better sister, a better daughter. At least that's what my intentions are going into it, and kind of fixing the things that I am in control of to, contribute better to those around me. So I'm really looking forward to that.
And then if anything is like, what can you can't lose anything from therapy. You're really just talking. But from what I've gathered from it is just that therapist just kind of knows what questions to ask to get it out of you, because she just asks one question and I just start talking. You know what I mean? I just started getting shit off my chest. Like, hey, you asked me this, but hey, this happened too, and this happened too. What about this? Yeah, and our session's only an hour, so it's like
mine are gonna be 50 minutes, which is like.
Yeah, so I was just like, especially like that, cut the small talk.
I don't need to know nothing about you. Ask me I just need somebody to ask me the right questions, like you said, to get it out.
You to ask me the right questions in order for me to just, have me think about how I feel about certain situations, or how I felt in that certain situation 3-10 years ago or whatever. And but again, we haven't dealt with any other type of insurance, but TRICARE seems a little ghetto.
A little. If you know, a little.
So put it in the comment section how you like your insurance, or how your insurance is, because I don't know. I don't even know what type of insurance there is out there.
There's Medicaid, there's Medicare, that's one of them is I don't know which one though. One of Medicare and Medicaid. One is for old people, and then like one is for like lower to middle income, lower to middle class.
Yeah, but like, does regular insurance give you? Shield. Do they give you like mental health freaking?
I don't know if they already got it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So,
I don't know, y'all, but that is where we are mentally and spiritually. That's an update from when you guys last heard from us, which was at this point months ago.
During the pandemic, ain't it?
No, when we were sick, when I came back from Vegas. So that was, that was in May. So that was like 7-8 months ago.
Yeah, that was May.
That was a minute ago. But that's how we're doing now. Clearly, we should sound and look like we're in better spirits, because we are. And if you're watching the video version, y'all, I got my little locks hanging. I finally took them out of the style. But not too much on me, all right? I just had to address the elephant in the room. We just learning to fall in love with them. All right. So did you know that there were 5 types of intimacy originally?
Nope, I did not know. As y'all seen, I can only state 4 that I would think there were, but the 5th one, experiential.
So just to run those back for y'all, they are physical, emotional, intellectual, experiential, and spiritual. Those are the 5 different types of intimacy. So now I just got a couple questions for you. You is
What's
running
up?
through this wine. Yo, he do this in real
What's up?
life. Look, y'all hear him?
What's up? She be
He
babysitting.
do this in real life.
She be babysitting.
I'm trying to conduct a whole little. Y'all, he trying to be on here lit.
She'll babysit and then fall asleep on a nigga.
Look, he trying to be lit for the after the podcast go up. I'm trying to still conduct the podcast. You see, now that y'all can see
I mean,
him.
what we talking about? We talking about intimacy, right? What we talking about?
Y'all see how he trying to do me? Y'all see how he trying to do me? Anyway, so how would you rank those five? Well, you don't have to rank all five. What would you say is your top two out of physical, emotional, intellectual, experiential, and spiritual? What are your top two?
My top 2?
Mm-hmm.
Intellectual was definitely one of them.
But what's number one? Give it to me.
You said my top 2.
Right. So what's one and what's two? What you mean?
All right, so 1 would be intellectual, and 2, I'll say physical. I'll just lock it up at physical.
What you mean lock it up? That's your answer, or are you giving us a fluff answer?
No, that's my answer. That's my answer because I can't knock physical. I was about to say, like, in my mind, I was saying, yeah, I could do without physical, but no, I'd be fucking lying.
Thank you for keeping it a stack.
Yeah, I'd be lying out my ass. But 1, intellectual, I think for sure, because I mean, I'm just thinking of the person you're gonna spend the rest of your life with. Like, if you're not connected with them intellectually, I mean, I feel like you're gonna want to walk away at some point, like.
Agreed. Because then I feel like
Because the physical can only go so far, but like it's like if you think that person is a complete fucking idiot, you could be like. And then from like a woman's perspective, it's like if you think your man is a complete idiot, like you're not really gonna respect him. You're not really gonna think like, hey, this person can do this for me or do that for me, like. And then as a man, it's like, yeah, like. Dudes might say the ditzy girl is like easy or whatever, but like you're not gonna want that ditzy girl all the time, like especially with basic stuff. I done seen some dudes have basically like a ditzy woman. You know what I mean? It's like bro, I don't know. I don't really know how you deal with that. And they seem like they just be like, yo, what the like what is wrong? It's like I'm taking care of a child, or it's like I have a child with me. Mentally, intellectually, so like that's annoying.
Agreed. I think my top two is different from your top two. I think my number one would be experiential, and my two would be in this stage of my life spiritual. What?
All right, so the spiritual, I was kind of gonna say that too, because for this stage of my life, just realizing the spirituality and everything. But how is experiential?
Experiential is my.
You just learned about that.
I did, but it makes.
It's already your top two?
Yeah, and it's number one because.
And it's number 1?
It is? Okay.
Wow. Wow.
If you are just listening to the audio version, you really need to pull up on YouTube because his facial expressions is unmatched. Hear me out though.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Hear me out though.
We're listening.
Hear me out. Experiential is number one because I put traveling in that. And to me, traveling is a form of intimacy, and being a couple that has been fortunate enough and blessed enough to travel the world, there's nothing that could compare to that. Like, we have experiences in different countries. We have, and it doesn't even just have to be travel, like experiences like becoming parents during a pandemic in another country. Like, there are some things that the experience enough, the memories that you build for me, like that's the peak level of intimacy. Like, being able to see the Eiffel Tower in real life, or be on a sunset cruise and jet skiing in Croatia. Like, to me, that's some real intimate shit. And like, granted, had I not had experiences like that before, I don't think that would be my number one. But because we have such, in my opinion, intimate experiences like that, It's number one for me because I feel like anything that I would consider experiential intimacy was like probably a core memory for us. Like being drunk in Greece, being on a new beach in Maui. Like,
I was just about to say Maui.
yeah, like we done had some fun all around the motherfucking world. To me, that's top tier intimacy right there. Whether it be physical or just experiencing anything, like just seeing the Eiffel Tower with our real eyes, going to Greece and going to Santorini and seeing that shit with our real eyes.
Santorini was lit too.
Together, like,
Very
child,
lit.
we came back with a baby, y'all. It was too lit.
That is true.
It was too lit. Greece was too lit. Just experiencing those things together to me is like, it does the same thing to me that an orgasm does, but like on the inside.
Yeah, I got you.
So that's why it would
I
be.
low-key want to say, hey, if you got PCOS, they go to Santorini.
Man, listen. And the crazy part is not even go to Santorini, go to Athens, because we didn't even spend a night in Santorini. Just the Santorini is a vibe. Just for that's a place you go for a day. Don't save all your money and go. Go to a different island in Greece and then just hop a flight. We was there for 12 hours and that was too long. We still had hours to burn and we had to sit at like McDonald's and this little hookah spot and wait for our flight. Everybody drives around the island on ATVs and like dune buggies. That's how small it is. You could do the whole island and like sit
Hey,
down.
we was whipping that dune buggy though.
Like,
I was out in that bitch.
if you follow me on Instagram, which you should, at Tyanne.Watson, I have a Greece highlight where you could see all the litness that we was having. Because we had a jacuzzi in the Airbnb. We was rooftop vibes. See what I'm saying? Like catching the sunset in the jacuzzi in Santorini. Are you shitting me? That's top tier intimacy for me. Like, we dead ass came back with a baby type intimacy. That's top tier for me. So,
Heard you.
You see, y'all, he was doing all that talking. Anyway, so my next question would be, which of those do you think is underrated? So I'm going to remind y'all again, it's physical, emotional, intellectual, experiential, and spiritual. Which one do you think is the most underrated?
I would say experiential. That's definitely underrated.
I think spiritual.
Because honestly, I didn't think of that one. Y'all saw me here. I was like, damn, I can't think of a fifth one. Experiential,
I didn't think that classified as one.
Yeah, I didn't think so neither. But it makes sense though.
It does. I don't think it's underrated because I feel like when somebody explained it, like for example, how I just did, you be like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah. I think spiritual, in my opinion, is underrated because, like I said, going for walks or watching the sunset or journaling together, or even for us doing things like yoga together. To me, that's a form of intimacy. I don't think most people think about. Like, yeah, you could work out with your significant other. And for a lot of people, if you like a gym head or a juice head. Yeah, touche. I just feel like it's underrated because a lot of people they don't classify themselves as spiritual, so they don't see the spiritual aspects of that. Versus just like, oh, okay, like this is just something I do with my partner. Like, no, this is a form of intimacy. So like, even when we laying in bed and we in our separate corners journaling, like that's a form of spiritual intimacy. Even when I back out the Palo Santos and you be ready to get your energy cleansed, like that's a form of baby included. Baby included. That's a form of spiritual intimacy for me. So I think that one's really underrated because how do you normally feel after that?
I feel just at peace, pretty much. Just like,
oh, I'm having that moment, y'all. It's happening. The last time we were talking about our spiritual alignment, last episode you was on, I feel like my highlight or something like that was when I was talking about that one night that like I wasn't in a good mood or something, and you had the yoga already ready. Then after that, you was like, babe, maybe we should just journal, kind of get it out. Like that night that we did yoga, journaled, it was just like a euphoric spirit. Like for me, that was like the cream of the crop when it comes to spiritual intimacy. That night, like, I've probably never been more mentally and spiritually turned on.
It was like I was talking to you without saying anything.
Yes, without saying anything and without touching me or being physical. So it was a different type of stimulation for me. It was a different feeling, and that's when in that moment I realized like, oh, this is a form of intimacy. So I could see how spiritual intimacy is the thing, but I definitely think it's underrated, for real. Okay, so now we're going to get them in our business just a little bit. My question for you is, which one do you think that we struggle with the most?
What do we struggle with?
Out of all 5 of those, which one do you think we struggle with the most? What form of intimacy? Not y'all finna be in our business.
Why don't you go first on this one?
No, that's yeah. Here go bullshit. I'm going to say that we struggle with physical intimacy.
I was gonna say the same thing.
Okay,
That's crazy.
But I'm gonna keep it a stack.
What?
I think that we struggle with physical intimacy the most because we be so goddamn tired.
That's true.
And it's not even just let's call it spade a spade. I'm talking about the sex part, because like the holding hands, the cuddling, like we got all that. But when you are I used to be one of those people that be like, yeah, like I'm never gonna be one of those people that like schedules to have sex, like blah, blah, blah.
I ain't gonna front. Shout outs to Kadeen and Deval, because it was one of their episodes where they was talking about how they remember the closet, me in the closet.
Yeah, like y'all.
Like before, I was like, man, like you really gotta do all that. But now I'm like, before it was like, all right, they got like 4 kids, like that makes sense. But even with one, it's like,
yo, like you really gotta get.
You gotta put that shit on the calendar.
No, seriously, like y'all heard him. He's in school. He still works. I'm doing content. We both got the kid. Y'all know we live in this state where we don't have any babysitters. So when you're trying to maintain a house, businesses, a career, education, a kid, sex could very easily fall to the bottom of that totem pole. And I am very guilty of like forgetting to move it to the top of the list as I'm crossing off my list to do. And I'm be honest about that. So that's why I think we struggle with that one. Why do you think we struggle with that one? Because we ain't just finna slide and use my answer.
Why not? What do you mean?
You made me go first.
It is why we struggle. We just got a lot going on. Like between me trying to get it in at the gym, trying to do my little courses. Now I'm in school now, so like, who knows what's gonna be like then. And then dealing with my son, who's a handful. Love him to death, but he's a handful. All right, that little nigga need more attention, and then he be wanting more attention than he actually fucking need. So then going to work sporadically, even though I barely work, honestly. But when I do go, it's for 24 hours a pop. So that's a whole day and a half gone. Because when I come back, I need to go to sleep. Even though it don't be that much sleep, because I know it could still be what he be stressing you out. And then I'm like, man, I can't just be sleep all damn day, because baby done had the baby for almost 48 hours. She's struggling.
Then I be trying not to let him get woke up, because I'm like, he was up for 24 hours. Let him get some type of sleep. But like, we all in the house that ain't no mansion yet, so it ain't that much space. Like, I think that lack of sleep is the biggest problem. I feel like we would have a lot more energy and time if we got more sleep, but we have not seemed to figure out how to get more sleep. If you are a parent to a toddler, you work, you're an entrepreneur, please, what is the key? Because we're trying to cut back on coffee. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm going to still drink my coffee, but
it's hard. It is hard. We try very hard to be that couple that's not just relying on how much time we got in the bank. Like y'all heard us say, we just celebrated our 9-year anniversary. We've been together for 10. That's not an excuse to slack off intimately, especially physically. And I feel like we both have our days where you feel like I'm not making you a priority. I have my days where I feel like you're not making me a priority. But it just always buckles down to like one person is just way more tired than the other person.
That's true. But considering the Army just came out with this new parental leave thing, 12 weeks, we might have to change that ASAP, babe, all right?
He not about to knock me up to get 12 weeks off of work. That's what he's not about to do. And if he do, I'm going to come on here pissed, and that's going to be my complaint. It's going to be my highlights, because if you know, you know. But it's going to be a complaint too. Y'all, he plotting on me, and the year just started. We are still in the first week of January. And I don't like the way he's plotting on my uterus.
That's
I'm
$3
just getting fine.
at the crib
I'm just
for
getting
free.
fine.
For free.
You tell me how good I look all the time.
Shout outs all my soldiers, man. Hey.
You want me waddling around again?
Sacrifices gotta be made. We all gotta make sacrifice. She said that early in the podcast.
You know what? Anyway, so the next question, which I'm sure I can already guess the answer to, which form of intimacy is your favorite?
Which form is my favorite?
Yes. Be honest.
Honestly,
Yes.
spirituals is my favorite right now.
Really? I feel like my favorite. I wanted to say that, but I'm gonna say spiritual is my favorite only because we haven't had any super out of crazy experiences recently for me to say experiential is my favorite right now. I feel like overall it's my favorite, but we haven't traveled in a couple months. We haven't done anything in a couple months. So I feel like I don't have any recent experiences to be like, yep, that's my favorite. So I'm going to have to say spiritual is my favorite too.
Yeah, definitely. I think spiritual.
Just watching you go on your spiritual journey, especially because it wasn't forced. Like, y'all, I did not force anything on him. We have always been like that. Y'all know, like, we got into this relationship, 2 different belief systems, 2 different religions, and we've always just allowed each other space to believe in what you believe in and do what you think is best for you. Teach the other what you can with no judgment. So I didn't force him to go on this spiritual journey, but it is really beautiful for me to see you go on it on your own without being forced. Like, and I feel like
You can't force it anyways, though. So it don't matter. You can't force it anyways.
it's just beautiful.
Because if you try and force, like, spirituality on anybody, if they don't feel it, they're just going to reject it.
I'll tell you, you crazy.
Yeah, then we're like,
Feeling most of the time.
we're like, you bugging the fuck out. What are you talking about? Astrology. That shit ain't fucking real. Get out of here, man. Astrology, especially coming from a male, you're like, what? What are you soft? You soft astrology. You talking zodiac signs and stuff. Who you, Tyrese?
And I feel like once you cross the burning sands, it's different on the other side. Once you cross the burning sands, it's different. Because now it's like, peace, my brother. Grand rising, my sister.
I mean, I've been on that anyways, though.
It's giving Malcolm X
I've been on
for
that
marriage. I feel
anyways.
like I said it on the pod before, but I'm going to say it again. I married Malcolm X reincarnated.
Listen.
Like, our son is technically born on Malcolm X's birthday.
Technically, man.
My bad, y'all. If you watching this on YouTube, memory card got full, but we'll be back in this. I was saying that I married Malcolm X reincarnated, and our son is technically born on Malcolm X's birthday.
Right. If we was in the States, he would be born on the same day as Malcolm X. How crazy is that, right? So
Yeah.
it was either way. It was the 20th in Italy, and it was the 19th here.
Yeah, when he was born. So technically, our son has 2 birthdays. One of them in the States is Malcolm X's birthday. The irony is out of this world, for real, for real.
I've read about Malcolm X since I was a kid. So, Literally. And then our son name starts with an X, Xavion, which means the fighter in Arabic. And then his middle name, Capri, means rising sun in Arabic. So
We did that. So my next question for you, babe, is going to be, what advice do you have for men struggling with intimacy in their relationships? Regardless of which type of intimacy it is. Being a man, a black one, that's been in a relationship for so long, who has experienced all 5 types of intimacy, what would your blanket advice be for a millennial black man struggling to be intimate with women in any of these ways?
Well, from my experience, I think what helped me literally with all 5. I mean, you can't really. I feel like you can't really get help with the experience. You can, because you could just make those experiences. Just just
nothing to learn. That's something
just go out the box. Yeah, just go out the box and go somewhere with your spouse that y'all never been to. Like
highly recommend.
Like literally have an experience with your significant other. But apart from that, I think what helped me was just being consistent with trying to figure out different ways to be intimate in all those categories. Like intellectually, just bringing up different ideas, like, hey babe, what do you think about this? Or I'm thinking about this, what do you think? Like, or just a random fact, like, hey, did you know this? Or I send babe stuff on TikTok all the time, like, or even on Instagram or whatever social media. If it's something like informative, I just send it to anybody I fuck with pretty much, and just get your thoughts on it. So I think just consistently looking for ways to be intimate, and it's not even like I do it just for intimacy. Like, hey babe, I think this will I think this will stimulate your mind. Like, that's not really what I intentionally send it for, but I think it stimulated my mind, so I just wanted to share it, and then it just sparks a conversation, and you just share your thoughts on stuff, and you get the chopping it up, and then you be like, after you get done, you're like, like that was a good conversation, like, or I never thought of that, just like when we first met, you didn't know too much about Islam, right? And it even there was stuff I didn't know fully, right? And we found out stuff together. I found out stuff. I told you stuff that I knew that you didn't know, and then we found out stuff together. And whatever I didn't know that I learned, I told you, and we stimulated each other's mind. I didn't know shit about any other faith, honestly.
Y'all, he just admitted that to me like 2 weeks ago, maybe. Yeah. And I was like mind blown, because I was like, holy shit, I did not know all this time. Like, for the 10 years we've been together, he has never been exposed to any other religion. I have had friends and been to churches of so many different religions, and he hasn't had that experience.
The most I ever went to church was in Hawaii.
And that we found a non-denominational church that we really liked. That was just, they cut out. Honestly, I feel like that church felt more. We had a spiritual connection with that church. Nothing about it was religious for us.
Yeah, because even like I said the other day, I think we spoke about this the other day. Like, you believe what you believe, but I personally felt like if it's a church of God, you should have no problem going into it.
And I feel like that's how the church in Hawaii made us feel. That was the first church I've ever been to, and I've been to quite a bit, where it honestly felt like any and everybody was welcome. There was no dress code. Like, we saw people dressed all type of ways, all different types of people, all different types of races. And this church was in the hood in Hawaii.
Yeah, it was.
This church was in the hood. Yeah. And the pastor was black. It seemed like it was a black-owned church.
Yeah.
That was our vibe, for real. Like, we was driving across town to go to that church.
Yeah. It was a good vibe. Excuse me.
That Taylor, y'all.
More so, I think the vibe for us was when they were, what is it called, when they start speaking and stuff?
Preaching.
But what is that?
Sermon.
Whatever it's called. That part where he was talking, like, it was more relatable. Like, when he started referencing, the King James Bible and stuff like that, like, I was kind of like, I don't really.
I don't think we ever followed him in the Bible. We just went with what he was.
We just went to hear the word,
and it would always be like meant for us. Like that one time, that drop it, leave it, let it go sermon.
Yeah, something.
God, we needed that one that day.
Yeah, because we was beefing right before that. He was beefing. It was staticky. I don't remember what he was beefing about. Yeah, like. don't say nothing to me. Like, just drive, nigga. Like, that's how it was. Like, don't look at me. Just drive to church, nigga. We dressed. We gonna go hit a word. It's Sunday. We ain't trying to argue, but you know, it's still we ain't cool, but we ain't trying to argue. You know, we leave that for Monday.
And literally, the entire pastor's sermon was about like holding on to things in relationships, and all I can remember him saying was drop it, leave it, let it go. And he was like, turn to your neighbor and say drop it, leave it, let it go. And we was dead ass looking at each other like,
and you know me, I'll drop it, leave it, let it go.
Aries sun in him was given very much petty in church. But
I still be saying that shit sometimes to this day.
To this day. That was.
She be mad about the shit. I was like, hey, drop it, leave it, let it go.
Only an Aries can be sassy and quote sermons to you. Sermons that are not even of his religion. Imagine the sass, bro. Like, y'all. Anyway, so my last question for you would be, what has the past 9 years of marriage taught you about intimacy?
I think the last 9 years have definitely taught me that it's never ending. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop at, you know, it's never like, yeah, it's enough. Like that's enough. That's it. Like, hey, we married. That means, you know, she's always gonna be physically attracted to me, or I'm always gonna find her, you know, physically attractive, because that's not necessarily true. But you gotta find other ways to be intimate to keep that spark up, that spark alive. I mean, you can't just let it die, or be just be stagnant and be, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Just don't be stagnant at the end of the day. Like, just keep doing things to spark it up, make it better, learn something new, you know, because you don't want to get bored.
Agreed. And I feel like for me, I think these last 9 years have taught me, 9 years of marriage have taught me that, like you said, it's never ending, but the scale always has to be balanced. Like, yeah, there's 5 types to juggle, but you can't tip the scale per se. So excuse me, y'all.
That's that Taylor.
It is. And I finished my wine, y'all. But like, if you're going to take from one, you got to put more in the other basket. So like for us, we feel like we lack sometimes physically, but I feel like we make up for that spiritually, or we make up for that intellectually. We make sure that even if we can't physically be connected that day, we're still mentally catering to one another, spiritually catering to one another, until we can be physical, until we do have that time. So if one is gonna be lacking, the rest need to be overcompensating to make sure, like you said, you never get bored in that way. Because to me, like, there will be days where I'll be like, damn, I ain't got no act right in a minute. But I don't be like feeling like, oh my God, my relationship is failing. Like, oh my God, like, you know what I feel? Because you feel me other ways. So I'm like, oh, okay, like, I could go a couple more days because I got what I needed spiritually, intellectually, what was the other one? Emotionally, etc. Why are you looking at me like that? Like you got something slick to say?
No, I was just gonna say, you know, it's like, you know, I haven't got no, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I come downstairs to some nice food being cooked. You know what I'm saying? You know, my stuff be washed. You know what I'm saying? The house be smelling good with the incense burning, and, you know, I feel at peace. And that's enough.
That's why I feel like we make up for it. We make sure the scale is always balanced. Regardless of what area is slacking, we try to balance the board. Don't worry, I'm going to tip the scale for you. And with that, brings us to our familiar place, y'all. So I let Babe choose the word of the week again. And what's your word?
My word of the week is affection.
And why'd you pick that?
I picked affection because I feel it is a very important part of being intimate.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, see how I brought it around full circle.
That's what you did last time. Let me find out you really made for this. Let me find out he really supposed to be a co-host for real.
I was about to say, hey, drop the comments if you want me to be a co-host, man. I want to be up here all the time. I do some interviews, ask this sticky question because I'm gonna come with it.
Well, we got another episode coming this season for sure, off rip. You know which one I'm talking about. So he's definitely gonna be on another episode. I don't know. That one gonna be a little different. I feel like
Afrocentric hippies.
Yeah, like that one gonna have people looking at us just a little different. Not in a bad way, but just okay.
Yeah, man, it don't even matter though. Only God can judge, anyways.
Period. And honestly, I feel like we have said all that we needed to say. Thank you for pulling up, chopping it up with us for an hour or so, or however long this video is. I'm trying not to go over an hour. But if you guys have any topics that you want us to discuss personally, like, let us know, y'all. We got 9 years of marriage in the thing. What y'all trying to know? I feel like we officially
Okay, kind of OGs.
I was just about to say, I feel like we at that.
Because you'd have asked me when I was like 17, 18. You were like, you'll be married for 10 years? I was like, hell nah.
If you're new here, we got married at 18 and 20. If you haven't, clearly. We look good, but we ain't that old, I promise. So, like, yeah, I feel like I was just about to say, I feel like we finally at the stage where, like, I feel comfortable giving relationship advice, marital advice. I feel like people be together for, like, a year or two and be wanting to give advice. Granted, you can, but, like, 1 year into that first year of our marriage, we was not in nobody's place to be giving nobody marital advice or relationship. Hell no. With a decade under our
We still
belt.
need to work on ourselves. And we still need to work on ourselves.
And we're still working on ourselves.
Still working, so.
I feel like we finally at a place where we could sit back and reflect on all the things that we've been through. We could relate to a lot of different things, a lot of different scenarios. I feel like
I think being married younger is more of a challenge than being married when you're a little bit older.
Honestly, I feel like they're equally challenging because the same struggles we faced, our biggest hurdle was finding ourselves while still being together. You know, most people don't get married young because they don't know who they are. They don't know what they want. So, like, imagine trying to figure that out already being committed to someone. Yes, I feel like that was our hurdle. But I feel like the people that get married later on in life, you've already figured out who you are. You're kind of like stuck in your ways, so to speak. So there's not really much room for, like, look, we are completely different people than the people that said I do 9 years ago. Those were kids that didn't know shit. And we're just in love and saying fuck it.
I get that. I think I always hear people be like, yeah, he's stuck in his ways, or they're stuck in your ways, or they're at that age where you're stuck in your ways. I think that's bullshit.
I mean, anybody can change. I do think that. I think you have less of a desire to change the older you get.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like I could choose to be mad ignorant tomorrow if I want to.
Agreed.
Like, there's no, I'm stuck in my ways. Like, no.
So you don't think people are, like, in their 40s, like...
I think you choose to be stuck in that way, but I don't think you're just stuck in that way. Because then, like, I feel like you're just disrespecting what the human mind can do by saying that. Like, you're just stuck in your ways. Like,
Agree, because I feel like we're all supposed to grow. If you spend your borrowed time in this physical realm being the exact same person, you did yourself and the creator a disservice, because what the hell are you here for? You ain't just here for the ride. Like, you here to learn something, to do something, to help something. You here to not be the same as when you woke up here, in my opinion. So I get that. I didn't think of it like that. I think they're equally as challenging, honestly.
I see that.
Because I feel like people who are older, when they get married, they also have a lot of things that deter them from getting married. We didn't really, like, think about it. If we would have, like, well, we were just talking about this not too long ago. Like, if we would have had mad other long-term relationships before we got married, would we have still looked at marriage the same? You get what I'm saying? Would we have still been?
Probably not.
You see what I'm saying? We didn't. Like, I feel like I had I only really count 2 real relationships before you. Granted, those were all in my teenage years, but those to me were 2 other serious relationships. Had I been in different ones before, like that first one already did a number on me. Like, that's when I met you. You saw the type of time I was on when I met you. Like, I was joking in the beginning of the pod, but I really wasn't, and you know that. I was on that was my heartbreak that literally was, I ain't one of them. I'm in these streets. I wasn't for everybody. I was not. But I put my big girl panties on and I'm the big dog now. Like, that was the heartbreak that kind of snapped me out of it. So that's
because you had a little bit of emotional attachment to at least to every person in that roster.
Agreed. But I literally scratched the roster and went to add new players and added the first one, and he ain't ever leave me alone. And here we are, 10 years later. We have built a whole life, a house, a family, a legacy.
That's because I knew your worth.
And that's on period. And I knew yours too. And listen, it ain't too many other 18-year-old girls from Brooklyn that's finna follow you to the ends of the earth and back off rip. Clearly, the glass of Taylor Ford is kicking in, and we about to go enjoy our night. So, appreciate y'all.
She about to go to sleep.
Here he go. Appreciate y'all for kicking it with us, pulling up with us, chopping it up with us. I'll see y'all next week. Maybe with him, maybe not. We'll see.
Hey, put me on the show. Y'all choose. All I need is one person to be like, yo, put him on the show.
All right, what y'all think? It's giving co-host or what? Giving co-host or special guest? Y'all let me know in the comments. But for real. Catch y'all next week. And on that note, if you made it this far, thank you for kicking it with me and chopping it up with me. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. The love and the support, it never goes unnoticed or unappreciated. And if you want to join the conversation in real time, make sure that you're following me across all social media platforms at Tyanne Watson. But more specifically, make sure you're following me on Instagram at Tyanne.Watson, because that's where I'll post all of the polls, all of the questions, and conversation starters. That's also where you guys can expect to see sneak peeks and previews into the episodes to come. We on a new season, and we on a new level. This gonna be one hell of a ride. I hope y'all are ready. Until then, I'll see you, same time, same place next week for another Melanated Monday. And remember, the goal is to be good and do good. Until next time, peace, y'all.